Hey folks, and welcome back to Pattaya. You know, the number one thing I get questions or messages about is buying a motorcycle here in Thailand, and today we're going to do just that. We're going with a gentleman who moved here and he's out looking for his perfect Thailand ride. So we're going to go out and see what we find. Now, this took him about a month, so we're going to condense that down into about 15 minutes here, start to end, and you'll come along for the ride. Out here on the dark side to look at bikes, I'm with my friend Terry.
Hey guys.
You may remember him. He moved here about 2 months ago, and we helped him to find a condo when he first got in here. But since that time, he's got a visa, long stay visa. You can stay for what, 15 months?
15 months, yeah.
15 months from when he got it. Driver license, bank account, he's got all that stuff. But one thing he doesn't have yet is a motorbike. We had fajitas. Did you like yours?
Oh yeah, they were delicious.
I tell you, I've been with other people that had them, and I never got them. Always said next time. I finally got it today. Wow, it's great. They arrived sizzling. You can hear them coming out of the kitchen. Before they even come, you can hear them, the sizzling plate, the hot plate with the onions and all, and the little fajita, what do you call those? Tortillas. The tortillas. Oh, he's kind of going through what I think almost everybody that comes here goes through. Well, what kind should I buy? What kind of riding am I really going to do? What's important? What are the important features I'm looking for? Trying to find that nice in-between, something you can use every day for around town, but at the same time, something you can go touring with a little bit, see some of the country maybe. It's got to be budget friendly, and it has to be something you're comfortable on. The other wish list, you kind of make peace with or focus on after those two things, I think. But anyway, we're going to go out and we'll look at some bikes, and I'll take you guys along with us, and we'll see what kind of progress, if any, we make. But at least we'll kick some tires.
There you go.
I don't know if we'll be able to light any fires, but we'll definitely kick the tires. Okay, so just a short distance from the diner, we're at PJ's. We've been out here before. We were out here about over a year ago when V was looking at scooters. And the reason I brought him here, I think he kind of wants a standard type motorcycle. And they always have a pretty good selection. And today they really have a good selection out here. Couple almost new 1 and 2 year model years old, with under 10,000 kilometers. They've got a whole handful of them. A Yamaha XRS 155, they got a Honda CB 150, they got a KTM Duke 250. A great deal. A CB 500F, it's a standard naked bike, very low kilometers for 130, let me see what it was, 135,000 baht. It's over a 200,000 baht bike new. Really some good choices out here. They got like a sport bike in here as well. They have a adventure touring bike in here. The adventure touring bike is a CF Moto, and we've been there before to the dealership. But 129,000, it's practically new with luggage. Basically is a copy of my bike, the Versys 650. You can just take a look at it, all the styling, the chassis, the way it's designed. I think it's almost a direct copy of the Versys 650. But that's a lot of bike for that money, 129,000 baht. It's a good time to buy right now. The prices just are low. They also let you rent the bikes here first for a week, whatever. If you decide you want to buy it, they take the rental price off of the price, so you didn't lose anything doing that. And if you decide you didn't want to buy it, well, then you rented a bike for a week, you got value out of that, and you learn that, hey, maybe that one's not for you. Good shopping out here. There's never a huge selection, but today, for what he's looking for, I think there's a lot of them to pick, and a lot of food for thought, at least. So although there were many options out here today, options which would meet Terry's budget, styling, and comfort expectations, he had done some of his independent research on his own and thought, well, I want to go look at a brand new model at Royal Enfield. So that would be our next stop on this trip. So our next stop is Royal Enfield, the big dealership right here on Sukhumvit Road. They also have some other brands here as well, but he was really interested in Royal Enfield, especially the 350 Classic. Behind me, they've got Classic, that middle one there, next to a yellow Meteor and a a very used white Himalaya. In his budget, he could actually get a brand new one of these instead of a used something else. I think it's worth looking at. They're supposed to have a demonstrator event down at the Biker Cafe, so we might go to that. But they have a limited edition back here, 120-year anniversary. It's all done up. I'm somewhat impressed. The Continental GT. They're making some pretty good bikes here, and he seems to like it. So I think I'll get the exact prices for these, but I think he said the classic Royal Enfield, about $4,000 brand new. It's a lot of bike for the money, I think, for $4,000. And for here, it's small enough for around town, yet probably just big enough to go on little cruises around the country. They had a leftover 2021 Himalaya in the 401 for 179,000 baht. It's a lot of bike for that. It's kind of between that and the classic, but they're having this event down at the Bikers Cafe Sunday. So we'll go down there, you'll take a ride maybe. I might take a ride myself on one. Not this one, another one. And see what it is. It is kind of hard to say no to these prices here. And I knew a friend, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago at the Bike Week, I met a guy from India. He rode one of these all the way from India. It's kind of bike you just drop, dust off, pick back up, and go about your way. So like many of the dealers here around town, they do have some demonstrator bikes that you can ride, just generally in the parking lot though. They're not too hip about having you out on the road with them. So to do that, what you'll want to do is keep your eyes open for a riding event, and that's where we're going next. So it's a couple days later, and we're at the Bikers Cafe in Santa Hip. We've been here before to eat, nice place to eat. But it's a special event here today. Royal Enfield has brought out all their demonstrator bikes. It's a little bit of an event. You can look at their bikes. You can register and get a free keychain. And you can register to test ride. I just got off the Interceptor 650, which I'll show you what that looks like. It's kind of the only thing they have that's remotely interesting to me. I was actually kind of impressed by it, to be honest. First, the sound it makes, I wasn't expecting that. It's actually quite a pleasing, decent sound that it makes out of the 650 twin. The handlebars were a little bit low for me, and maybe a spacer would solve that problem, but very, very impressed by the slick shifting gearbox, even with no clutch. Yeah, it's a test drive, right? It actually had good throttle response and good, quick, smooth shifting, and the ride was also a little bit harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more of a cushy ride. It was more of a sport ride. Handling was decent, and the seat was fairly comfortable. So overall, I mean, could I get on that bike and go on a trip with it? If the bars were a little higher, it would hurt my back, just personal riding position, riding it for any length of time, being hunched over a little bit too much. My buddy here, the one that's shopping for a bike, he was out with me on the test drive. He was on the Himalaya. We'll get his impressions on the Himalaya. They have a guy here that goes with you. He leads the way, and we went out on the highway and around, several miles. It was a decent little test ride. He's gone back out with them on what's called the Classic. That's a bike that's under $4,000 US. Here they come. So that's the Classic. A 350 single cylinder that comes in full price out the door with the license plates, the insurance. I think they give you a helmet under $4,000 US. So that's gotten a lot of rave reviews because of that price point. Let's be honest, what are you going to get? You can barely get a PCX for that nowadays. I like these sorts of events, and I think they're very beneficial if you're shopping for bikes, to come to one like this and test ride it on real roads. You might come to test ride one and not like it, and then just on a whim decide to test drive another one, and that's the one you end up liking. So anyway, we'll see which one Terry liked better. If you like the Himalaya, he calls it the Himalaya. I don't know which is right, or the Classic. So which one do you like better, the Himalayan or the Classic?
Classic, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the 650.
This was a surprise. Mechanically, I was very surprised with it.
Yeah.
And the sound that it makes as well. The handlebars were too low for me, but they might be fine for you.
Well, no, you need ape hangers, man.
Anyway, they're supposed to be having a buffet here as well today. I don't know what all is on that, but we'll go in and take a look at it. We just wanted to get the bike test riding out of the way first, because it looks like it's going to rain. It has rained off and on, so between the rainstorms, we're doing that. Anyway, then we'll look at the buffet. So yeah, great little buffet out here this day at the Bikers Cafe. 199 baht, so that's $5.50 US. I took a look at it before we agreed to eat that, and I think it was the mini burgers and the cheesy garlic bread that really got my attention, so we decided to indulge. But anyway, while we eat lunch and look at the buffet here, I believe Terry liked the Royal Enfields well enough. I don't think they jumped out at him like he thought they would. I think they were just okay in his mind, but he still had other things that he wanted to look at. Other avenues, other options he wanted to pursue, one of which being the extra large scooter class, something like a Yamaha X-Max. So he wanted opportunity to do that. He would spend the next 3 weeks after this day exploring all these options, shopping on Facebook Marketplace. That's part of the process, seeing what you can get at what value, at what price point, checking the comfort, the features, the benefits, and I think he did that in spades. At the end of the process, though, I think he was actually becoming a little frustrated, and I hadn't heard from him for a while. But at any rate, just yesterday, I think he made up his mind. I got a call yesterday. Terry's decided on what he wants finally. So we'll ask him why he's decided this and what his expectations are. I'll tell you right off the bat, though, it was 140,000 baht. So that's the cost, because if that gets lost later or forgotten, that's the cost, 140,000 baht, which is right at today's exchange rate, about $3,825, right around there. So, why did you choose the green beast here?
For one thing, I like what I would consider classic motorcycles, and this is your classic English single-cylinder thumper.
The Royal Enfield Classic 350, like he said, single cylinder. I think the seat's very comfortable seat. There's a lot of good selling points with the bike, and I think it looks nice. But you kind of grew tired looking at used bikes, so you found a lot of things you didn't like. Everyone had an issue, right?
Well, for one thing, odometers that have been rolled back.
Very possible.
Obvious.
So used bikes, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. Yeah, odometer rollbacks could be a potential issue sometimes. Also, just the maintenance, the general maintenance, were they properly maintained? People tend to use bikes here a lot more because it's a very warm climate, so you have to do more maintenance on them. The more you use it, the more maintenance you have to do, and that's not always followed. So he decided to go new to rule out any of those issues, any kind of tampering, poor maintenance. Decided to go new. This was in the budget, and he liked it.
And 3-year warranty on this, unlimited, with roadside assistance and towing. Plus, now here's the cool thing, my maintenance, the service on this, the first service, and I think it was the second, third services.
Up to 3.
Free, all covered.
That's always nice to get us to. Are they giving you a helmet or jacket or anything?
Yeah, I'll get a helmet.
He gets a helmet too.
I might twist her arm a little bit for a jacket.
He's got to wait for the money transfer to go through, but he'll probably ride it away tomorrow. But it's a done deal, and he'll be out there
I'm going to definitely
on the
ride
roads.
it in the parking lot here in a minute.
All right. So you'll notice a red license plate on the back of Terry's new motorcycle. The dealer put that on. They will take care of registering, insuring, all of that to meet the requirements and legalize the bike. He'll get his hard tags and green book in about 2 months. What do you need to buy a bike? Well, you need a residency certificate from immigration and your passport. That's it. Of course, the money. Cash, funds transfer, credit card, whatever you're going to use. So insurance, the third-party insurance that's required by law, the dealer will issue you that. That's all included in the cost. Of course, you can get the first party or the comprehensive type insurance later at your own choosing. V kind of took a liking to this twin-cylinder 250 here at 72,000 baht. That's a lot of bike for only $2,000, but we'll see about that, because for this one, gotta leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.